Yo, people, welcome back to the YouTube channel. You already know what time it is. It's time for another episode of London Clubs Carnage. Tobs will be here later on. He's just running a bit later. Potts. Fucking hell, mate. How you doing? Jesus Christ. Never
I'm
thought I'd
very
see the
well,
day.
Matisse. Very well, Matisse. Very well, Matisse. I can't lie, my guy. It's been a really good weekend of football as far as Arsenal are concerned. Everybody but Man City and that team that are finishing below West Ham, Newcastle, still winning. Everyone is looking pretty dodgy, but them, man. Listen. I think at the moment I've just got to sit and enjoy it. I don't care if people keep thinking it's not sustainable. I don't care if people want to translate my team. I don't care that we're rattling people in the media. It's beautiful at the moment. Everybody is hating on Arsenal, and long may it continue because they keep hating on us, man, because it's working. Just please don't say that we're going to win a title because then we won't. Just keep saying we won't. Keep saying it will all go away because at the moment everyone keeps saying that, and it's nice. It's making us just not be. It's nice to be relevant again. Let's just say that. I'm good, man.
Are you starting to believe?
Yeah, I am starting to believe that we're turning the corner. Why would I not be? 13 games is a good indication of where we've come from last season. So, but we'll get into it, man. We'll get into why. It's been good. It's been good, mate. It's been a good season. I've enjoyed this season so far.
Lawless. Newcastle, a little jab for you there. I mean, at least Man United lost. So how are you feeling?
Yeah, well, it's at least Man United lost. That's something. But obviously, like I said, Potts, along with Palace fan D, the two honorary Newcastle fans out here. So Potts is double happy because both his teams won this weekend. But me,
listen to how bitter he is.
Not so much. Not a good weekend for me. Not enjoyable, man. Lots to get into, but times, boy. We're gonna have to talk about someone's future later on. I'm telling you that for free. We're gonna be talking about that.
Well, let's start with the headline act, the main event, the main course. Nothing personal. I don't usually talk about Chelsea on this show too much because I say, listen, the floor is yours. It's a Chelsea oriented channel, but I'm so triggered by everything from start to finish. I was triggered. Arsenal fans were triggered. It should have been Chelsea fans that were triggered by the promo for BT because it shows that we're in our banter era. It shows that we're in the start of our banter era because for me, it was a very unserious. Obviously, we know we got stitched up, but I knew from that moment that the meme was coming. It was so predictable, the whole storyline. And everyone was saying, oh, what if he scores? I'm not going to lie. As much as I would have loved it to happen, the storyline was so clear that he would put in a performance where we barely saw him and nothing personal for sure, because in the end, we have a number 9 with an Arsenal tattoo on him and it was nothing personal because he wasn't involved. And Arsenal come away with the bridge with 3 points because they are the better team, because they have the better first 11 at the moment. And that is the end of it. They were favourites coming into the game. I knew it. We all knew it. But we were praying to God that our team would show up with some fight, with some bollocks, with something about them to show that this is a London derby. And in the end, it was a friendly. From top to bottom, it was a disgrace. I'm going to praise Arsenal in a minute, but it was a disgraceful performance. And it should have been like 3 or 4-0. That's a 3 or 4-0 type of game. That's a 3 or 4-0 type of performance. But the only reason why it wasn't is because Jesus missed his header, shot saved from Mendy. But it was embarrassing how uncompetitive we were and how we didn't look like scoring. Ramsdale didn't touch the ball. Honestly, this is the day after and it will go out on the Tuesday. This has been recorded on the Monday. I'm so embarrassed. It's ridiculous. It's like after that, I fell asleep on a post-pod. During the pod, luckily, there's no visuals. I was passed out for 5 minutes. I was meant to play Call of Duty. I actually ended up buying Call of Duty because I wanted to shoot up some soldiers to take some anger out on what happened because I was just so triggered. So triggered. Today, I was late for the Premier League review on DR. They were like, oh, he's ducking and diving. I said, I don't want to duck. I wanted to be there on time. I just forgot. But this is how much I'm rattled. My whole schedule for the week is gone. I don't even know what's going on anymore. Like, I'm that triggered by everything. Potts, for you, yeah, have you ever had an easier game at Stamford Bridge in your memory? Because that was, I know you've beaten us there in the last couple of years. You got a draw and whatnot, but that was genuinely uncompetitive. Like, you guys physically, technically walked us. I'm going to get onto Potter in a minute. He's got his own segment. But you guys, you were ridiculously good, bro.
We were, man. But I do feel like Chelsea were poor. I can't lie. I do think like Chelsea were poor. Because you had a couple of opportunities, let's not lie, where you should have done better. Some of the individual players, I don't understand what they're up to at the moment. Like Sterling, Havertz, Aubameyang, we all know he's going to stand up there and wait for someone to give him the ball. He ain't going to do nothing else. Trust me. He will score goals for Chelsea, but he ain't going to go and get the ball. He ain't going to wait for it to come to. He's just literally going to stand there and say, somebody please give it to me and I'll put it in because I don't want to do anything else. That's what he does. You know, he said he was blue. Well, he's probably feeling blue now. Put it that way, because it weren't a good performance from him and he got hooked. I thought there was a couple of strange decisions from Potter. I didn't quite know if you were going to go 3 at the back, 4 at the back. I don't know why Kovacic is on the bench, but I was happy about it.
Well, he's injured, unfortunately.
Right, okay, fair play.
This is why I call him our best central midfielder, because it's
you could tell he wasn't there.
Bro, it's very clear night and day. When he's at his best, he's our best midfielder. It's as simple as that. Obviously, Kante as well gets into that conversation, but he's at his best a little bit less because he's injury prone. But God, did we miss him, man? And he had an injury, but do you know what it is for me? It's like, okay, maybe I'm going to give Potter, this is the only thing I'm going to give Potter the benefit of the doubt, is that maybe Kovacic, by medical instruction, could only play 15, 20 minutes, so therefore he didn't bring him at halftime. Because a donkey, my grandma, anybody could see that Kovacic needed to come on at halftime. It was blatant. But that doesn't excuse not bringing on Pulisic for Sterling earlier. That doesn't excuse, and Pulisic's been very impactful off the bench. He was really good quite a few games now off the bench, and even starting against Wolves. It doesn't excuse, tactically, you've got Zinchenko and Partey in the double pivot. You've got a back three of Ben White, Saliba and Gabriel in possession. That's what it looked like at times. Zinchenko was so tucked in. He was basically a midfielder. Xhaka pushed up into the half space with Odegaard. 2 wingers up top. You got Jesus. You pressed us into oblivion, bro. Like, we pressed. We didn't really press. We started with a mid block. You guys pressed us into oblivion from the front. I saw Odegaard and Jesus pressed in as a front 2. I saw then Xhaka just following in behind. And then you've got the 2 wingers as well that are relentless. But why couldn't have Gallagher done, if Sterling was going to be in this game, why not from the left, and why not Gallagher, who we've seen at right mid or right attacking midfield, because that would have been the perfect person to use to make sure that you don't get outnumbered in the middle. So it's 4v4 with the 2 attacking midfielders and the 2 defensive midfielders that you had, or Zinchenko being one of those guys, and Gallagher tucking in with Mason, and they're instructed to apply pressure to Partey and to Zinchenko. Instead, what ended up happening was Havertz was kind of sometimes on the left, sometimes in the middle. Mason sometimes on the left, sometimes in the middle. Their involvement was so limited, so little. They were both poor, but nobody applied any pressure to Partey. He just had so much time.
He was so good, man. He was like so good for me. Partey and Saliba, it was as if Sol Campbell and Vieira were back. I'm not even lying. That's how good they both were. It was nuts, mate. How good they were. It was like, these 2 players, wow. Like, seriously.
What is he talking about?
Did you watch the game? Did you watch the game?
Yeah, I see the highlights.
What's the game? Your upcoming show with Lee Gunner. That's a big comparison.
Vieira. These Arsenal fans, man, getting so carried away.
Why are we getting carried away? Have you not seen how good Saliba's been? I want you to apologise to me, actually, and to the Arsenal fans.
All right.
No, I want you to. And I'll tell you why I want you to apologise to me and the Arsenal fans for slagging off the fact that this Saliba was going to be no good. We've seen 13 games now. Matisse, can I ask you how good he was yesterday?
Bro,
Saliba?
Him, Gabriel and Ben White were monsters, bro. It felt like Chelsea versus Arsenal of old when we used to bully.
Did you test him?
We used to bully you.
Did you really test him?
We didn't know, but that's because he was so good. Anytime we came up to him, he just won the duel. He just won the challenge. Threat?
You got that clown shoes Havertz playing up front. I kind of felt for Aubameyang. Because that
I did feel for Aubameyang at a point as well, because he didn't get any service. Aubameyang did get no service. But I said it before the match when I was talking to Curtis Shaw, if you're going to do this ad and you're going to speak like this before the game, you have to perform, no excuses. If you're not going to get service, then you need to be like Gabriel Jesus and drop deep and get involved, like nutmeg some people. But we know Aubameyang can't do that. And this is why I wanted Jesus, because neither of them scored. One of them missed chances, big chances. The other one didn't get any chances. But Jesus still had a good performance, in my opinion, as he has all season, because he's involved, he's pressing, he's causing issues. He was allowing Arsenal to press from the front. What was Aubameyang doing? Nothing. We didn't press from the front. Now, that's maybe because fundamentally there's other parts of the team that are a bit slow that would get caught out high up the pitch. But the clear consensus for me after that match was that Jesus got no goals and Aubameyang got no goals. And look how one played and how the other played. Yes, obviously Jesus got more chances, but Aubameyang just wasn't involved. Sterling was dreadful. Kai, he was probably the person I noticed the most, but Sterling was absolutely horrendous. Mason Mount went missing for a good 30 minutes. I didn't even see him on that pitch. Sterling was dreadful again on that right flank. It was just nuts, bro. But
by the way, I never said Saliba is no good. I never said that. Once again, Potts is doing me a massive disservice here. I just said, let's calm down. Let's not get carried away. Sol Campbell.
What do you think now? 13 games in. What do you think now? Do you think he looks all right?
Okay, he's looking decent. He's looking all right.
Okay, cool.
Looks decent. You know what I mean? He looks decent. I'm not
is
saying
is he better than Kera and Zuma yet?
Give me well, do you know what? I'm not gonna ask me when we get to the West Ham bit. Ask me when we get to the West Ham bit, because I'm not gonna spoil anything. But yeah, I don't like your team, man. Matisse, I don't like your team.
I didn't like what Potter put out there. Do you know what was weird? Before the game, I was worried about Jorginho potentially and Azpilicueta. I thought those two were actually all right. I thought Aspi did pretty well against Martinelli, and Jorginho was much better than Loftus-Cheek. Loftus-Cheek was so bad.
He was terrible, by the way.
He didn't do anything, bro.
He is no good.
And do you know what it is for me, yeah? He's a squad player. We shouldn't be starting him in a game of this magnitude. Loftus-Cheek should not be starting in games of this magnitude in central midfield for Chelsea in 2022. It shouldn't happen. He's a squad player at best. And anybody who says otherwise,
man.
If anybody who says otherwise has dropped their standards immensely, because he's not a world-class midfielder, and of that age that he's at, I know there's other reasons why, there's injuries, and the story's horrible, and he could have been a top player for us if he had picked up that injury in America. And I love the guy. You know, he's come through COB and whatnot. But the standards for Chelsea can't drop, and he is not a world-class midfielder. Therefore, at his age, he's not good enough to start in midfield for Chelsea. That's the end of the conversation.
But the thing is, you don't necessarily...
He's been better this season. He's been more disciplined. Yeah, but you don't need, bro. But it would help, wouldn't it?
No, but what I'm saying is,
it would help if you had a midfielder that could pass forward, bro.
Yeah,
it would help if you had a team that could pass in between the lines. That didn't have to always carry it. That's what we missed. Cover can pass and he can dribble, and he was missed. It was a shame he couldn't come earlier.
I thought it was like great. It was crazy that how important Kovacic is for you in midfield and how poor you look without it. But I still want to big up my team. I thought we were great. And I think we can sit and talk about how crap Chelsea are all we like, but I haven't looked at Chelsea's performance yesterday and thought, oh, wow, like I haven't seen this coming. They haven't been great for a while. But Arsenal have
what
been.
Would you be saying, Potts? Would your analysis be different if it was 0-0 yesterday, you didn't get that goal?
What do you mean by analysis? I still would have thought if we wouldn't have scored that goal.
Exactly the same.
Yeah, I thought we were good. I still thought we were good.
No, I'm not saying we were good,
because the result would have been frustrating, but the performance would have still been there. I thought we
the finishing was off the ball.
I thought that we missed. I thought we missed a couple of chances. I thought Ben White should have done better and hit the target. I thought Ødegaard should have put it in, but he put it over. I thought Jesus should have won his header. Of course, it's worrying. Yeah, it's worrying when that happens. But we won 1-0. We take the 3 points, and the performance comes with it. When you take a result and a performance, there's a difference, yeah? Because the result is 3 points, massively. But the performance was there yesterday. We didn't get lucky. It wasn't a 1-0 luck. Like Matisse said, it should have been 3-4. Yeah.
You deserve to win, but that goal, fucking hell.
Cucurella is hugging Xhaka.
So can I ask? That's what I was going to say. Can I ask what Cucurella is doing in that goal? Right?
Bro, that's a penalty. That's a penalty. It's obstruction.
He looks like he's trying to.
I don't know what he's doing. I know he's been good, Xhaka, but you don't need to hug him to tell him he's been good. Do you know what I mean? Like, let's just let go of him.
No, it's a mismatch, isn't it? It's a mismatch. You can't deal with him. There's two mismatches on them set pieces because I was watching them all game, but even before you scored. Azpilicueta versus Gabriel, the same Azpilicueta that lost the header out in midweek to Dinamo Zagreb for the first goal versus Gabriel. That's a mismatch. And Cucurella versus Xhaka, another mismatch. So we didn't have, again, this is what I'm talking about, us getting bullied. We were weak.
Yeah, but it's not even that. It's like he's just an idiot. He's an absolute idiot. What is he doing?
It wasn't just him. Kai Havertz not getting the header on the near post. Yeah, he should be getting that. Thiago Silva missed it as well. I don't think he was. I don't think he's been great recently. People are talking about inform 11s. The only inform.
He did make a wicked tackle against Jesus, though.
Yeah,
He did make a wicked
the only
tackle against
informed
Jesus.
centre back Chelsea really have right now is Trevor Chalobah. If people want to be really honest, you know, Trevor Chalobah was in form before maybe Brighton, but I wouldn't say Silva's, you know, after that Brighton performance as well. I wouldn't say he's in crazy form right now, but obviously always give him the benefit of the doubt because at his age we shouldn't be relying upon him, but unfortunately we are. He's a top centre back. But bro, that's that set piece. It went straight through everybody. Straight through everybody.
Look, Lawless ain't going to give us no flowers. I get that, right? But
I said you were good.
Okay, well that's as far as it's going to go with you, and I understand that, right? When it comes to you, Matisse, like you've played us loads of times. You've played us in the last 5 years. You've gone and we've had a couple of results at Stamford Bridge of late. Did you play Arsenal yesterday and think, okay, this team look a bit different to me? Or did you just think, we were crap, they were going to win? Like, this is what I mean. I think we deserve a lot of credit yesterday. I thought we were good.
You do deserve a lot of credit. Your build-up play was brilliant. In first 6 minutes, Ramsdale plays a pass in between the lines, then another pass, and you're in 2 passes, you're in the final third. 6 minutes in. So from that moment, I already knew that you guys were going to be a problem. When I was doing the previews, they were reminding me of Curtis was saying that your front three is probably the most difficult to play against in the Premier League right now. Not that you're the best, but not that the individuals are the best players, but they're the most difficult because first 20, 30 minutes, you guys come out the blocks. And I was actually quite relieved that Chelsea had got through the first 20, 30 minutes unscathed, still at 0-0, and then build from there. But the problem is we never build. We never built anything. We just kept playing in the same tempo, the same way, even at 1-0 down. But you guys were relentless. Saka absolutely cooked Cucurella. Emphasis on the cook. You know what I mean? We're gonna have to start calling him Cucurella in a minute because I know that, you know, he had some health issues, tonsillitis and whatnot, but bro, it's past that now. Now back to normal. The performance
he's in danger of being a contender for flop of the season.
Bro, the performances are not good enough. I wouldn't say that he's going to end up being flop of the season because I do think that his fundamental footballing level will come out at some point, but he needs to step it up. You know what I mean?
Arsenal were the only team in that game that looked like they were playing in a London derby. Like, really and truly.
It was a friendly.
Yeah, to Chelsea, it was just, the game just passed them by. They're no intensity, no confidence. Like Arsenal look confident. They look like they can just throw caution to the wind, go up front, and they know that the players at the back are going to deal with whatever comes back at them. Chelsea, like, it's just a horrible team to watch. And I feel for Potter, man. I feel for Potter because he's inherited a mess and yes, his decisions in the game and game management needs to be better, but he's in a difficult situation now. They have to try and get him some players in January. They have to, because boy, I can't see, unless, like you said, Kovacic maybe gets fit and gets able to start week in, week out. But if you're relying on one player like that, which is like what Arsenal have been in seasons past, where this one player's out, it throws everything out of boil. Like that's a bad position to be in, man.
And I understand as well that James and Chilwell are out, and that is harsh because they're two good players for you.
But they've been injury prone for years.
But true. But still, when I looked at the team, I didn't look at that team and think, "Oh, that's a shocking team. This is going to be about 4 or 5." I looked at the team and thought they've got an elite striker up top that knows where the goal is, and he's proven to us that he does. Sterling gets goals in the Premier League. You've got players in midfield that can cause problems. Jorginho, whether you love him or hate him, he can find a pass. He can instrument a midfield. You've got players at the back who are experienced. Thiago Silva, very experienced head. Got a goalkeeper who's been praised for the last couple of seasons. So I didn't look at that and think, this is an absolute shambles of a team.
You're looking at them
Mason
on paper, though.
On paper. Now, Potter,
as a team, you guys are like, even if you were to go from ability standpoint, I do believe that Chelsea and Arsenal, if you used to go for pure ability, it's quite a balanced team between the two, like in terms of the combined 11. But when you talk about playing as a team, wow, it is leaps and bounds apart in terms of chemistry and understanding, pressing off the ball, who actually is able to understand what the manager wants from them and apply it. The managers, even right now, you know, Arteta clearly knows what he's trying to implement in this match. Potter, like you said, I don't know what he was trying to do because, you had potentially numerically enough players to deal with their midfield, but it didn't look like it on the pitch. So what are we going to do about it? Are we going to not do anything at halftime? Of course, we don't do anything. Even though he's been renowned for making early changes, subbing people off quickly, even 30 minutes into the match sometimes. So I don't
it's
know.
unfair, I think, to put Potter next to Arteta like that, whereas Arteta's like what 3 seasons.
Yeah, he's way down the line. Yeah, but I'm just talking about specifically in this game tactically. It wasn't working for Potter, and you got to do something about it. Because
the other thing, Kai Havertz, I'm not getting it, bro. I'm afraid I just don't get it. I don't get this guy at all. I don't get it.
I said it 2 years ago, and they said agenda. I said it last season. They said agenda.
That's because we was giving him time. When you said it 2 seasons ago, to be fair, that was like,
I said to you,
I'm gonna give him a minute.
I said to you that
this is the season, though. This is the season. And even last season, I said he needs to be doing 10 times better. But this season now, I said this is make or break. Like if you don't fix up by the end of the season, you got to be sold. You have to be.
You did say that, and I'm not even trying to get at you. Yeah, I'm not even trying to do I was right or whatever. I'm just analyzing the game of football, and genuinely, this guy, like, for the umpteenth time, I don't get the hype. I don't get what makes this guy so special. His decision making is poor. His finishing is poor. He has good link up play, and he's tall and he's good in the air. But when it comes to actually stepping up in a game of football consistently, not just once every 10 games, consistently, this guy's nowhere to be found. But to be honest, I don't want to just. Sorry, I joined late, so I know we were just moving off the Potter talk. But listen, Graham Potter is teething issues. Yeah, he has only been in the job 2 months. Yeah. There's going to be performances like this, but just purely analyzing the game, I couldn't, for the life of me, understand what Potter was going for with that tactic. It didn't make any sense to me. He packed out the midfield, yet the midfielders were not able to stop Arsenal playing through the lines. He was instructing his team to go direct, even though Arsenal had Saliba, Ben White, and Gabriel
in recovery position.
Going to eat up every single
and party in front of them with Zinchenko. So five of them.
And then when you look at the attackers that he played as well, there was literally no outball. There's nobody that's going to hold up that ball to a good enough extent. I think Havertz was probably the best on the day when it came to like getting the ball high up the pitch and trying to make something happen. And even then, he was poor. Raheem Sterling is not going to be your outball to sort of hold up the ball. And we damn sure know Aubameyang, he's a service striker. If you don't give this guy service, he's not in the game. Yep. So I had to question what on earth Graham Potter was thinking. Like, what did he think was going to happen with that approach and with the team that he put out? It didn't make any sense to me.
Bro, I wasn't happy when I saw the team. I'm not going to lie, because in my head, I thought, okay, surely we're not going to play any players that kind of just go through the motions. And that's Kai's biggest criticism at times, is that he's not mentally sometimes in a match, or he's physically not in a match. Like, he's very easily pushed off the ball. He's very easily, kind of like just, he doesn't seem to have that Premier League build about him. Like, he's tall, cool, but you're quite weak. And I say that about quite a few of the players. We got bullied. Is the best way I'd describe this game, is we got bullied. Like, technically, we already knew Arsenal were a good team. They played good football this season. They've managed to find, their first choice 11. They had the most predictable starting 11 going. Everybody knows what Arsenal are about right now. But Chelsea were bullied. And I never say that when Chelsea play Arsenal, they get bullied. That shit is roles reversed from like 10 years ago when we used to actually have soldiers. It's embarrassing. And to do that at home, in front of your home crowd, when you know the stakes are so high, because you have the opportunity to stop your own rival. And now I get why Expressions and Tobs always like, why do you keep dropping the ball against Arsenal? But when you play against Tottenham, it's a whole different story. Yeah. What is that? What is up with that? The last, how many games? Arteta's unbeaten. So as much as people are going to say, oh, Potter out, I've seen people shouting Potter out. I do think that's extremely reactionary. And it's probably why we're in it. And it's why we're in this mess. It was
trending, I think. I think it was trending on Twitter.
Yeah, but that's why we're in this mess. And to be honest, Tuchel's home record against Arsenal wasn't anything to shout about either, because we didn't beat them. So my point is that, yes, he was poor and he does need to fix up. And I think what will be, because for me, that game was the start of our banner era as a club, because the nothing personal memes for Aubameyang, I'm sorry, that's not how I'm trying to see shit at my club.
How much of BT
paying? And the liking of Troopz' tweet, like, bro, these things, I know. Listen, I know people say you only. So Troopz tweeted Gabriel celebration in front of, you know, Aubameyang, and obviously Gabriel tweeted later on about nothing personal,
Nothing-
London
oh,
is
yeah,
red.
yeah.
And Aubameyang liked that after the game. Now, for me, listen, I'm not one to be zoning in on social media actions from players, but you can get in trouble for liking shit on social media. Trust me. Like, if you like the wrong tweet, people be looking at you like, yo, why did you like that, say, anti-Semitic tweet? Or, but obviously it's not to that scale. But even if you're going out with a girl and you like some mad picture, bro, they're onto you. So why is it just like you could just like anything? Who gives a shit? For me, do you know what that signified is? That he's not mentally giving a shit, because we just lost, and it's like, oh, who cares? Like, he doesn't really. It didn't really feel like
he came
we
for
lost to
Tuchel.
him.
Tuchel's gone now, and
Yeah, like, it didn't really hit him that hard. We lost the game. We lost the game, and it's like, oh well, next game we'll go again. And I don't want players like that at my club. And I said it already. It's like a double agent thing, because we've sent you William David Luiz, Petr Cech, and now you've sent us Aubameyang. This is double agent at its highest. He doesn't give a shit, bro. He don't care.
I just think the mid. Like Arsenal were really good, I must say, and that was not a 1-0 game. That should have been at least 2-0. But what was startling to me was just how bad you lot were. Like, there was nothing you could do right. You couldn't keep the ball. You couldn't get any sort of pressure on Arsenal's midfielders. Arsenal's defenders completely, like, the way Arsenal's defenders completely snuffed at your attack was a joke. Like, it was ridiculous. Like, Saliba made Havertz look like he was a boy. Just Gabriel dealing with Aubameyang. Even Sterling did not get any change in that right hand side.
Ben White was wicked as well, by the way.
Ben White was really good. I thought Sterling was garbage. Sterling
awful.
was so bad. He was terrible. Absolutely terrible.
So was Mount as well. Gave the ball away so much.
And that's the point I was going to come to as well. And again, back on Graham Potter's approach. You're going long, but you had no attackers to hold up the ball. Okay, cool. But then you specifically play the system to try and, like, close off space in between the lines for Arsenal. So he's gone with your typical free in midfield. But I felt like he almost sort of surrendered Arsenal the ball, because he wanted to try and limit what Arsenal could do on the ball and hit Arsenal on the break. But you weren't breaking well enough. Like, your passes weren't slick, and you weren't able to close off the space efficiently for Arsenal. Thomas Partey dominated that game, mopped up every sort of first and second ball when there was a duel to be had. And it's just like Mason Mount. I remember when you lot played us, and I came here, and I think it was against you, and I was saying, why are people gassing this performance? Oh, he's the manager's dream. He's this, he's that. Good player. Don't get twisted. Good player, but he did nothing yesterday. Just running around. He did nothing yesterday.
Yep.
Ruben Loftus-Cheek. How many times have we spoken about him as a starting midfielder for Chelsea? Okay, cool. You can be a squaddy, but in these games of note, comes up missing again. And this is not the first time we've seen Ruben Loftus-Cheek in a big game playing his favorite position and has been rendered null and void. It's not the first time. We literally saw it against Man United a couple of weeks back.
Yeah, I think there's only a couple of Chelsea players that you can come out of that game thinking, all right, they actually did better than expected. Like Aspilicueta versus Martinelli, I think he was all right. Yeah, sometimes you got change out of him, but it wasn't like a complete onslaught like I thought it could be. You could say maybe
most of Arsenal's traffic came from that side though. But yeah, you're right. 1v1.
I think Saka did a lot more damage to Cucurella than obviously the other side. I think Saka was pretty good. But yeah, man, it's just honestly, I'm embarrassed.
Just before we move on, because I know we got to move on.
I don't want to move on yet. Sorry, I don't want to.
We got 15 minutes to talk about 2 games.
No.
We got pots left for 15 minutes. Sorry, the rest of you guys are probably.
I'm not sure if you guys have spoken about Arsenal yet. I mean, have you spoken about Arsenal?
No, you can talk. You can go, man.
I've tried to, but these two just want to tell me.
Sorry, I don't want to speak about.
No, not me. I gave Arsenal plenty of praise. I mean, their build-up play.
No.
Lawless don't want to give them nothing. No shine.
I said they were decent, but I'm not going to suck them off like Tobs is about to.
I wasn't about to talk about Arsenal. I'm asking if you've spoken about Arsenal because I want to make one more point on Chelsea. We spoke on WhatsApp yesterday. You already know my opinion.
Yeah, I do.
On the
make
game.
your point. Go on, definitely.
The point I was gonna make is this age-old story about Chelsea's attackers. Oh, do you remember when Thomas Tuchel got sacked? Oh, it's the brand of football. Oh, he should do X, Y, Z. Yes, there was a criticism to be levied at Thomas Tuchel in terms of what he was extracting out of your attack, your attacking patterns of play. But fundamentally, this team is busted.
Yep.
It's
And
busted.
bro,
And I've been
even when we
saying
went
this.
on our nice
And
run, what did you say? You said you ain't played anyone
you
yet.
ain't played
Hold on.
any.
And since
Brother,
when?
you
Since
ain't
now,
played
and
anyone.
even the AC Milan game, there was context because they went down to 10 men. And they had
Exactly.
injuries in the first game. And you said, okay,
Exactly.
because I had it in my comments, oh, see, this is why Tuchel did it. And I said,
Exactly.
don't disrespect Tuchel because
Bro.
everybody knows I didn't want Tuchel out this early. And I
Bro.
don't like the manager comparison anyway. But people needed to calm it down on the slander. Now I'm seeing people say Tuchel needs to come back. And again,
And I saw,
just
and
relax. But
and
bro,
you know
now
what's
we played
mad?
Man United and Arsenal. What's happened? These two games should have lost both of them.
Matisse,
end
do
up
you know
losing
what's
one of
even
them.
mad as well? Yeah, do you know what's even mad? You had not even the fact that you had 5 attempts at home, one attempt on target. The fact of the matter is, you have scored 17 league goals. That is the lowest of any team in the top 7. Newcastle have scored more than you. Man United have scored 1 more goal than Chelsea. Man United have had Martial fit for like 2 games this season. Ronaldo can't score to save his life in the Premier League. They have no consistent goal scorer, and they have still scored more goals than Chelsea. And people really wanted to tell me that, oh, Thomas Tuchel, Graham Potter, he's already started getting more out of these attackers because you beat a busted Wolves side. What? And because you scraped the win against Aston Villa. Oh, come on. Do me a favor, man, honestly. And I don't say this to shit on Graham Potter because
I know you don't. Because you rate
I
him.
think he's a good coach, but I just think structurally Chelsea just don't have good attackers. Raheem Sterling is the only attacker in that team where I can genuinely say I'm taking you no matter what at Spurs, no matter what, and he is even playing poorly right now.
Yeah, and for me the midfield is busted as well. I've said it many a time. Do you know what I mean? I think
Broja as well. Broja.
Yeah, but to be fair, like it's funny because with the game plan that we're describing before we move on, Broja would have suited, even though he wasn't great when he came on, he would have suited what we were trying to do a lot more. Because
100, he would have at least tried to give them
an outlet
something to think about, an outlet.
And Gallagher would have suited Sterling's role a lot more to come and track Zinchenko inside the pitch and double up on Zinchenko and party with Mason Mount and Gallagher instead of using Sterling. So yeah, but it is what it is. Let's move on. I mean,
congrats as well, Potts. Really good win.
Before we move on, does this win, because it looks like they could go top of the table into World Cup if you play Wolves, right? So does this mean now that Arsenal are legitly? I mean, I'm already saying that you're finished ahead of us this season. I just don't see that points gap being trimmed all the way down, and you guys falling off.
As in you three, or just Chelsea? You talk about?
No, I'm not talking about Lawless was never in the conversation, and literally he's just left for that very reason.
That's great time.
but Lawless will have to watch it back to get the joke that was made at you, mate. But I'm not going to speak for Tottenham because I mean, they're way higher than us in the league. But for me, that defeat signifies that we will finish below you this season. So already now I'm having to rejig my top 4 predictions and my Chelsea prediction from the start of the season. So I'm gonna have to do videos on that when the World Cup starts. I mean, I know Potts is starting to believe now. He said earlier, Tobs, does that win and the manner of the win, the way they played, does that make them for you title contenders considering No, not yet.
No.
Okay.
I didn't expect Chelsea to be that bad. Admittedly, Arsenal, it's impressive. They've beaten Liverpool, they beat us, they've gone away to Chelsea, they've won. I think they've passed every test they've had this season apart from United. But
and they even played well in that. Yeah.
Again, and they played well in that, but again, it's November. Let's see where this team are when.
But bro, it's a different November because there's no fixtures.
Yeah, no, I'm saying let's see where this team are when it gets to when we're approaching the start of the business end. Talk to me at the end of January, February. Yeah, January / start of February. Talk to me. If you're there or thereabouts, you're in the title race without question. If Arsenal are still top of this league at the end of January, heading into February, with I don't know, maybe like how many games will be left to play? I don't know, like 17, 18 odd games. You're in the title race. You are.
Yeah.
I think there's 2 questions. Are Arsenal in the title race is question number 1, and is this sustainable is question number 2. Because if you want to talk about who's in the title race, then yeah, we are because we're top of the league. But whether it's sustainable, that's a different question. If you come back to me in March, April, and we're still talking about this being top of the league, 2 points at the City, then yeah, of course we are.
It's all about January, the window.
In fact,
Sure.
Matisse, I'm gonna have to push it back. I'm pushing it back to February because I've just deeped it as well. Yeah, we go on the break for the World Cup after this upcoming Sunday.
Yeah.
So the next Premier League game after that is the Boxing Day fixture on the 26th of
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So it's not a normal
you don't even
calendar.
so by January you ain't even hit the midway point.
Yeah, you haven't. Yeah.
So yeah, but for all
I think it depends on their window.
Let's put some pressure on them now. Yeah, they're in a. If we want to play devil's advocate, why aren't they in the title race now? Let's ask their fans that.
It's all.
I know
about
they're not. Let's ask
depth.
their fans. Why aren't
You're leading the title race, Potts. Now, if you don't win the title, you've bottled it massively.
Why aren't you in the title race?
The league, let's say that. Yeah.
Your manager's thriving. You're playing the best football in the league. You're scoring goals. Why aren't you in the title race?
Stop saying that, man. Because you've been playing it down all year and it's been going well. Don't start telling us we're going to win titles because we won't do it then.
I didn't say you're going to win titles.
Don't learn. Don't
learn.
Don't
I don't think you're in the title race. But I'm asking.
Keep
just
saying
asking,
we ain't going to.
If I was a simple footballing man and I looked at the Premier League table and I looked at how the teams have played this season, I think it would be a logical conclusion to say that maybe they are in a title race. So tell me, I want you to say it.
The media outlets are now saying we are, right? I listen to Troopz.
No. What are you saying?
I'm saying that we are in a title race.
Did you say Spurs were in the title race? When they were
I'm not saying we're winning it. I've never said we're going to win it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got it.
Listen, I'm happy to say we are in a title race.
Joining the deluded crew.
I'm not gonna lie. I think if any of our clubs were in this position with one game to go until Christmas, you would say that you're in the title.
No one was saying that about Spurs when they were top in December.
You wouldn't. Okay, but I think you've got PTSD from a lack of finishing the job. But but also
that is actually true. That's actually true. But you only say that because I said this on the Big Six. 2 seasons ago with Jose when we were top of the league. I said it on the Big Six. So don't say shit.
But do you know what? Do you know what it is how their January goes will signify whether the board think they're in a title race. Because the fans can think it, the players can think it, but if the board don't think it and they don't act in January and get a 6 and get a striker and get maybe one other, wherever you want to pick, we need
at least 2. We need 2 or 3, and then I think we've got a squad.
Then it's serious.
At the moment, it's a little bit weak in certain areas, and Manchester City is so good.
Unless you just get lucky with injuries.
Out of the equation,
Yeah.
Maybe take Man City out of the equation here, and I think everyone will say, it's looking like it's Arsenal to lose. There's only really Newcastle at the moment that are playing very, very good football. Everyone else is looking up, down. Man United, all their back, then they go and get hammered by Unai Emery. West Ham, let's just not even go there. Chelsea, you don't know what you're going to get. Spurs, you know what you're going to get, but it ain't going to be, I don't think, sustainable for a title challenge. It will get you top 4 with what's happening. And Liverpool, I don't know what Liverpool I'm going to get. So I think at the moment, when you look at things and things can change in football, don't get me wrong. But at the moment, I think we'd be foolish to sit at that table and say that Arsenal and Manchester City are not the 2 at the moment that look like they're going to win the title. And that's what I'm saying. I don't think we're going to win it. I think Man City will win a title. But I think we are in a good position to at least challenge them. And whether that means we're going to be challenging them at the end of the season or challenging them up to a certain point, I don't know yet. But I feel like
you're not having that. You're not having your cake and eat it. Yeah, you're not having that. You're not sitting there and saying, I think Man City will win it, but we're in the title race. So when you eventually do not win it, you can sit there. I
said Man City. I think.
I said Man City. No, mate. You got to put yourself all in.
I've always said Man City will win the league. You're trying to make me say that Arsenal were going to win the league, and I've never said that we were going to. I've never said we were going to. I said we were going to struggle for top 4. Why am I going to say that? I don't believe it. Yeah, but we're not going to win the title.
You think you won't win?
Yeah, we are. But I would take a title race because that's what I wanted. That's what we've not had since the Arsene Wenger days, mate. And that's why he got sacked. That's why Emery got sacked.
Man United finished first a couple of seasons ago. Second, sorry. What? 2 seasons ago? Man United finished second.
They finished. Right.
Yeah, no one said they were in a title race. But you're in a title race.
But they weren't in a title race.
They weren't because the points gap was mad.
The points gap was crazy.
Let's see what the points gap ends up as.
That's what I'm just saying.
Well, let's talk about. Should we talk about you next? Because I watched Tottenham versus Liverpool.
I love how much comes on when I'm top of the league and this guy comes in and he still starts this unbelievable. This guy,
because you want it all, Potts. You want it all. You want the
floor. Hold on a second. Let me defend Potts here. You want it all. You want it all. Coming from the man who is yet to say Moyes out, but yet But yet anybody else but you wants it all.
Facts.
Mate, you say
Facts.
what you gotta say. If you want definitive answers from Potts, you give us definitive answers on Moyes because you just lost at home.
This is the
to
hypocrisy
Crystal Palace
from
with
Lawless all the time.
Paqueta, you know, and all your new guys. But yet you don't know where you stand on your manager. I know where I stand on mine. I'm gonna give him time. He was not good enough at the moment with that last game. I'm giving him time, 100%. Potts is happy right now of Arteta. What's your stance? What's going on?
Listen,
I
you know what's
know where
funny?
I
Just
stand
quickly, do you
on
know
this.
what's funny as well? Because I've got to go, right? But do you know what's funny? Is that he's now playing Ben Rama. He's now playing Paqueta. Skamaka's up front. All these players have come in, and he's still not happy. So just say I want Moyes out because he ain't going to make you
No.
happy ever. Just say I want him
Don't
gone.
even go there, right? He's bringing Ben Rama in and he subs him off after 63 fucking minutes. Yeah, he subs him off. So even when he does play him, he's still mistreating him massively and then wants to talk shit about him in his post-match interviews and press conferences. And you're playing Paqueta and Skamaka, but you're still sending them out playing negative football. And I said this on our review, just because you're playing attacking players don't mean you're playing attacking football. The instructions to the players sitting so deep behind the ball at home to Palace is a disgrace. And listen, I know where I stand on Moyes. I'm done with him. I want him out. I want Moyes out.
Oh shit!
I want him.
Oh,
Get
Tobs has
Pochettino
been
in now.
asking me.
Get
He
Pochettino in
tweeted
now.
one of his stupid, not stupid. Let me not say stupid. That's rude. That's rude. He tweeted, "I don't mean you're stupid, bro. Apologies. I'm just getting that, Lawless. You are not stupid." So he tweeted to one of his followers, "Oh, Tobs he's been trying to get me to say Moyes out on his terms. I'm not going to say it on his terms." Lo and behold, Monday, the 7th of November, a week to the date when we said say Moyes out. He says Moyes out.
Moyes out, but
Well done.
Moyes out,
Well
but
done, though.
The
Well done,
great
Lawless,
West
for saying
Ham.
it.
The
Well done.
great West Ham.
no, Moyes
The
out,
great West
but
Ham.
I'm not like at that level where I want him sacked regardless. Like I want a good replacement. I don't want him sacked for the sake of sacking him. Yeah, let's put that out there for now. I want a good replacement to come in. The
That's
man
fair.
has taken us as far as he can. He has proven that he cannot manage a big squad. And that's what we've saw. He can take a small squad and just ride them into the ground. But when it comes to actually having a bigger squad and trying to drop players, rotate players, manage in-form and out-of-form players, he can't do it.
Boys, I've got to shoot, man. I've got to shoot.
Big up
Enjoy
Potts,
it.
man.
Enjoy your
Big up
evening.
Potts. We'll see
I
you
will speak
soon.
to you soon. Enjoy the debate, man. Lawless, don't cry too much, all right? In a bit.
There you are.
No, but I feel like I'm justified. I think Moyes, he looks like a manager that's starting to be on the end of his tether. When you start digging out the fans, when you start taking shots at the fans, that's the sign.
What was the exact quote? So he said that they weren't like
Basically, what happened was 63 minutes comes on, yeah. So Paqueta takes a bad challenge, big knock. The guy's only just come back from injury,
Yeah.
and he's down for a long time. We see the subs are coming on, Flynn Downs and Lanzini. So we're looking at it now, and you're thinking, okay, Paqueta's coming off because he's just taken a big knock and that, yeah. Next thing I see, he holds the board up, yeah, and my God, Ben Rama's coming off for Lanzini. The whole
Ben Rama
thing.
just got the goal.
He scored a banger of a goal, a worldie of a goal. He was the only player that looked like he could make something
So
happen.
why did he take him off?
Because he's a fucking idiot. He hates Ben Rama. He hates him with a passion. I don't know why. He subs
So the whole
him
stadium unanimously just booed the shit out.
booed the shit out of the decision and started singing Ben Rama's name.
Wow, because you got a big crowd, so that's gonna, that's mad.
Moyes heard it, and you know, someone, oh shit, I've frozen.
Sorry, don't worry. This is great. You can carry on.
Yeah, that's how.
This is
bewildered.
Let me take a photo of this.
No, go on, carry on talking. This is
No,
fucking
right?
hilarious.
The whole crowd booed the decision. So someone asked him, "Why did you sub off Ben Rama? Like the fans were not happy with that decision." And he tried to say, "Oh, Ben Rama scored the goal, but didn't do much after that." After Bowen did nothing all game. did nothing, absolutely nothing. Paqueta just come back from injury, took a bad knock. Apart from the assist, he didn't do too much. And you pick out Ben Rama, and then someone says, well, fans booed, they weren't happy with it. Oh, there's a lot of experts out there. You're the fucking expert who took off the only man who contributed to the game for someone who is finished at this level. And you're supposed to be the expert. And we lost the game, dickhead. He brought on Antonio for Scamacca. Antonio, who lost us the game. He lost us the game. And that's your substitution. And you're calling us
not Antonio, who is better than Kane. Not that Antonio.
Surely that was never said.
Listen, Antonio's, he's been poorly managed. He's getting on, man.
Fuck me.
He's getting.
Wow. That's quite
wow. In the space of 12 months.
Quite a shocking opinion, isn't it? That's worse than. It's worse than a big up League Gunner, but that's worse than better than Salah.
No, but to be fair, I ain't even gonna go. It was a harebrained action from Antonio, what he did. But right, let's be honest. I would have still brought him on and put him where Bowen was. I would have brought on Antonio for Bowen and had him and Scamacca on the pitch.
Yeah,
that's what should have been done. Finally, he takes.
And also, Ben Rama's better in terms of creating opportunities, isn't he? As a player, he's just a better. Yeah, he's just a better.
That goal he created was literally out of nothing.
Yeah,
out of thin air.
Bowen was always like, for me, like someone that was relying upon running in behind the defensive line and kind of great goal scorer last season, but he wasn't exactly like dropping deep and suddenly he's going to create opportunities and things like that. That didn't look like a strength of his. So
I just can't believe, how poor Bowen has been. And I don't know whether it's down to Bowen or it's down to the manager. Like I'm trying to work out who's to blame here, which one, Moyes or but probably a mixture of both. But I just feel like our attacking players are being stifled under Moyes. I feel he's got a lot to answer for. And honestly, I don't like the guy. I really don't like the guy. And I feel like he's going to hold us back. 170 million pounds he spent. 170 million pounds. What's the plan? Why have you spent 170 million pounds for us to sit deep at home to Crystal Palace, who hadn't scored away from home in like 3 games? And we're sitting there paying him so much respect. And he's starting the same fucking out of form players week in, week out. I just honestly.
Are your expectations for the season slowly dropping? Because mine are obviously due to what I'm watching, and I'm guessing yours probably will be as well. I mean, I know you were looking at potential Europa League football top 6, surely with Newcastle playing the way they're playing. That's got to be out the window, isn't it? Brighton are ahead of us, let alone yourselves. Brighton look like they're really, really going to be up there for European places at the moment. So are you waving the white flag to top 6 finishing ahead of Man United?
If we keep Moyes, yeah. If we keep David Moyes,
who do you want to come in and not Poch, like anybody else? Because obviously Emery's just been snapped up by Aston Villa, and then they go and play well, and then win at the weekend.
I said before that game, before the Man United game, like I feel
you would have taken Emery.
I would have taken Emery. Like I said, if we can get Mancini from Italy, like I said, he ain't got nothing to do this year. He ain't. It's true. He ain't got nothing to do. He's just chilling, watching the World Cup. Come in and work with the boys, Like, yeah, I would take him.
What's the chances of that happening? I mean, Premier League's attracting top managers to all clubs at the moment, so
you've got to punch above your weight. You've got to be able to punch above your weight.
If Villa can get Emery in the position they were in, like 17th, then you should be able to get someone serious, to be fair.
Exactly. Why can't we? And we've got time now.
Seriously, because the names that Mancini, maybe, yeah. Because to be fair, you got Pellegrini, but you're saying Pochettino. Poch is not coming to West Ham. It's not happening.
Come on. Why?
Why do we have to do this? It's not happening.
He's probably not. Let's be real.
It's not happening. He's even like, there's even been credible articles that have come out and said that he's actively rebuffing. Like he knows what level he wants to manage at, and it's not going to.
But no one wants him. None of these levels.
Yeah, but he has to. You just wait. You just wait. Same with Tuchel. You just wait. You wouldn't get Tuchel either.
He's gonna sit there and wait and wait.
Yes,
It's funny, though.
yes, because
Yes.
his reputation, to keep his
Yes.
reputation intact. That's what managers do. Top
Lawless-
managers don't just go to any club.
But Lawless thinks that because West Ham come calling, Poch is just going to abandon what he's been doing since summer just to join West Ham.
Let's be real. He built
Right.
his reputation from Southampton, yeah. So let's not act like he's got coming to West Ham's going to tarnish his reputation.
He built it from Espanyol. And then he expanded it when he was at Spurs. What are you talking about?
So what? You're just going to ignore the fact that he was at Southampton?
No,
I'm
the
not
the
ignoring
point
the fact
that he
he's
was at Southampton
but
is a different manager now.
Yeah,
Like,
but
he's
why
already proven himself.
are you focused on the infancy of his career? Focus on the here and now.
Yes,
In
now he
recent,
started
his last two
building.
jobs were PSG and Spurs. Why is he going to join West Ham?
Oh,
Again,
fuck off, man. Like, you've got such an inflated self-importance of your team. Yes, okay, you've done
I'm not talking about self-importance. Spurs are nowhere near as good as PSG. But the point I'm making to you is his last two teams have been Champions League caliber sides.
But he has no business being PSG manager. He done a poor job.
Well, he got the job. But that's
He
the
got
point.
it, and he got sacked.
The job.
He got sacked. He got
As
sacked.
did every other PSG manager. Does that mean they're not good
He
enough?
didn't last. What
Tuchel
clubs
didn't
do you
last. Does
think
that mean
he
he's
should
not
be
good
going
enough?
at? Tell
Ancelotti
me,
didn't
tell
last.
me.
Does that mean he's not good enough?
I'm saying, what level of club do you feel like he should? Name me some clubs. Name me
Higher
some
than
teams.
West Ham. Higher than West Ham, bro.
Like what?
I
Like who?
just said it. Champions League caliber clubs. Champions League.
Listen,
Champions League.
I think he is a good project manager.
I
right?
agree. But again,
And we are a project.
yeah, you're a project in the Conference League, not in the Champions League.
Yeah, but the point is, you come in and take us to the Champions League.
Yes,
That's
but
the
he's
project.
been there and done that already. Now he's got a standard that he wants to set. Why is that so
Wait.
difficult to grasp? You can't grasp that
If
concept.
he wants
and
to
you
sit there
take
on
it-
the unemployment line,
Yes,
you
waiting for
can't
these-
grasp that concept and you take it as me insulting you. I'm not
Managers are
insulting
not embarrassed to be unemployed.
like you act like these guys aren't millionaires. They're millionaires, bro. Like Zidane, obviously he's a way bigger manager than Poch, way better manager than Poch. Zidane has not taken a job since he's left Real Madrid. He's waiting for the right offer. Man United have been interested, etc., etc., etc.
yeah, but he don't want to live in England anyway. So he
Yeah,
don't
but
even
the
wanna
point
live in-
that's not the point I'm making. The point I'm making is if a manager knows what he wants, they're not just gonna take. If a manager is set in
I
their
don't
way,
think there's any harm in approaching him. We got the London pool.
You probably
right?
already
You can
approached
approach
him, and he probably said no.
you can approach
I
him.
don't
He'll
think
tell
you
you no.
You can approach him in silence,
Approach
and
him.
he can still tell you no. And
I-
then what?
listen,
Then
it's
what?
what the
Nothing.
offer you're putting on the table.
What,
Big
you
wages.
think money? You think it's money? It's down to money.
Money is a factor. Let's not act
Yeah,
like
but
it's
you
a
probably. I
non-factor.
mean, what's to say you haven't offered enough money?
is,
I
we
think
got
you have
Conte,
to understand that you might not be
yeah.
the level of club.
That's what I'm
that he
saying.
aspires to
Tottenham
manage.
got Conte. You can
Yeah.
punch above your weight.
But Tottenham
Yeah,
already.
but we're also paying him 50 million quid a year. You gonna do that for Poch?
Well, we're not going to pay him fit, but I don't think you should take.
There you go
50.
then.
We can pay him big 15 or 50.
15 million quid a year.
15. Yeah, we paid Big Sam like 8 million a year.
So
I think
double.
we can't pay Poch fucking over 10 million.
Double. You think you're gonna pay 15 million a year?
I think we would. Well, I don't think it would take 15. I think we could pay him 12, 13. And I think we'd pay it. We
And
paid
you don't think
Pellegrini. I think we paid
you-
Pellegrini
Then
big money.
the next question is
Pellegrini.
can he get that offer at a better club? And
But
let's
he's
be
not
real.
getting it. So
Yeah, but bro, it's only
Take
been a
the offer
couple of.
that's in
It's only
front
been
of
a
you.
couple of months. It's no. You don't.
What's
have
he
to-
gonna
this
do?
is-
Wait
This
for
is not deal or no
Arteta
deal.
to sack?
No, bro.
This
This
is
is not deal or no deal,
Wait
bro.
for-
You don't just
wait.
have to take the box that's in front of you. You can wait. Managers
How
have been
long is
out
he
of
gonna
jobs.
wait?
Bro, he's only
Who
been
is
out of
he-
a job for a few months.
Who is he waiting for?
When did he get sacked at PSG? Was it last season?
He got sacked this summer.
Bro,
This summer.
man, leave it out, man. He's
what
been
I'm saying
sacked
is-
a couple months, bro. Please,
It's
stop
ridiculous.
this nonsense. He's been sacked a couple months ago, and you expect him to
Nah,
just
a
take
couple-
whatever
it's
job
not been a
comes in.
couple months.
I wouldn't even do that on Football Manager. I'd go on holiday. What the fuck are you talking about?
I'm telling you, he's
Move
not
on, man.
getting-
Let's move on.
He's not
This is
getting a
silly.
Champions League Prem team.
Well,
None
it
of
doesn't
them
matter.
clubs are
He'll
gonna
wait
be
for a different
available.
league. Then there's Italian clubs. There's
Bro,
German clubs.
he's
Nagelsmann
gonna
could be
go
sacked, bro. Nagelsmann could get sacked in 2 months' time, and then he's sitting at West Ham on a 5-year deal. Nah, man, forget that.
Now, listen, I don't care. I want to punch above our weight. I want a top class
That's
manager.
nice.
I'm
100%.
not. Listen, I respect
You need to
sort
come
of
up with
guys.
more names than
I don't
Poch.
want
That's
it.
all I'm saying to you.
By
bro.
the way,
I said Mancini.
all right, well, let's
He's worked with. Skamaka. But the point is, I think, yes, okay, Moyes done a good job, blah, blah, blah. The guy's a prick. Personally, I don't like his personality. And he plays dead football.
Why are we
And you've
just
been
talking
given-
about Moyes, though? Why are we not talking about some of your players?
No, like, look, you have to, you can talk about the players, but I think
I want to hear you talk
Why
about
don't you
it.
talk about it?
Because
man?
when you come here, you're always talking Moyes.
You just talk about Moyes. Why don't you
Yeah,
talk
you
about
guess
players?
up these
But I
players.
think he's
Talk
the
about
root of
some
the
of these
problem.
players. Talk about
I
some of
think-
these players, bro.
Who are we talking about?
Craig
do you
Dawson.
think? Who are you not impressed by apart from
Craig
Foden?
Dawson, yeah, but this is the thing. Craig Dawson's been asked to play out from the back, and look what happens. Heavy
So
pass.
he
Told us he could do it.
I never told you we could play out from
Last
the back. I
week.
never said that.
Last week,
I
when we were talking about comparing centre backs,
I said
Gets into
he is
Tottenham.
a
They got
great
back from the back.
last ditch defender.
So he should be playing for a
Back-
relegation candidate then, shouldn't he?
No, but this is what I said. Craig Dawson is a
So let me ask you
player that
something. If you want to play good, attractive football out from the back and you want to move into a new style with players like Paqueta, then does Craig Dawson fit that? Is he good enough to do that?
absolutely not.
No, Craig
Well,
Dawson
then,
is a squad
then you need to
player.
come out and say that.
End of
Why don't you say
No,
that?
No, because Craig Dawson is a squad player that if you're playing against a team like Man City who's going to dominate the ball and push your back against the wall, Craig Dawson is good for that. He is a squad player. I've never said he is a first choice player.
Why would
How
you
long
bring
did he
in
lick
your
his
squad
lip
player
like Craig
for the
Dawson?
biggest, toughest test in the league? That doesn't make any sense.
No, because it's
That
system.
doesn't make any sense.
I'm
How-
not saying I want to play attacking football
Yeah, but
every
you can get
game.
ball playing centre backs that can defend, bro. Last ditch.
And also, how long is Bowen going to stink out the joint for?
And boy, forever until Moyes decides to drop him, which is never apparently, like, because he needs to be dropped. The guy, these decision making is appalling. It's absolutely appalling. He offers nothing right now. He offers absolutely nothing, but he's allowed to keep doing that. Moyes allows it. But Ben Rama, he's got all this energy for Ben
In
Rama.
the bank hype.
Souček, I feel like he might finally start to see the light on Souček because Souček was actually subbed off, which shocked me. And I don't agree with fans cheering players being subbed off. I get it. It's like, finally, you fucking see it. But I don't agree with that. That's
Well.
I'll shut up. No, I'm not. We're not having that conversation.
Because you're gonna do the same when we talk about Spurs, even though our performance was significantly better than yours.
Oh,
but,
We've only got 15 minutes left as well
okay, cool.
because I got to go to another
let's
show.
continue-
So
let's continue
so we
talking-
might not get much time for Spurs.
Let's
if
continue talking
Lawless
West
still
Ham
has
because boy,
Souček.
Thomas
There's
Souček. How the chickens come home to roost. How the flipping chickens come home to roost. He just told me that their crowd cheered
Starting to see the
when
light.
Thomas Souček went off the pitch. Surely not the same Thomas Souček who I was told is better than Bentancur.
That is your howler because Bentancur is a very good player. That is a
Alright,
howler.
Yo,
And I know
yo.
on a previous episode you were saying, why do people care about Messi winning the World Cup, Neymar? Because I only care about West Ham. I don't care about football. But that is a moment there where a West Ham fan can get caught out and a football fan will never, because Souček will never sit at the same table as Bentancur, let alone in a conversation. And I think if you had just been watching the two players, you would never have said something as atrocious
crazy,
as that.
bro.
That is
Wait,
horrendous, bro.
Robbie, yeah, your boss, yeah. Let's wind this in. Your boss, yeah, the man who paid your bills said that.
Excuse me,
Souček-
do you not do watch-alongs on DR as well? So what the fuck are you talking about?
I'm not employed like you are, but I'm just saying.
I ain't got a contract. Relax.
But I'm just saying, yeah. He paid your bills, yeah. He said Souček was better than Bentancur, yeah. So you want to come for me? You're gonna
My
come for
content
Robbie.
creations pays my bills. All right, relax.
You coming for Robbie, yeah? You coming for Dodon, yeah? You coming for you go on,
He wasn't
say it.
He wasn't in today, thankfully, when I did my review. So I didn't have to
You
build
ain't
any
gonna say it.
Arsenal
He
fans.
said it, and Tony, no, he was there, and he was more indignant than I was about that.
Yeah, and Robbie's a donut. Robbie's an absolute donut. And I'll say this to his face. I've said this all the time. Robbie does not know ball because the amount of horrific takes that Robbie's had is incredible. And I said the same thing to him when he said what he said about Bentancur. I said, what are you talking about? And if Robbie's watching this, he knows. I will say this to his face. Robbie is a donut when it comes to some of these shouts, because some of his shouts are horrendous. They're horrible. They're absolutely horrible. The same thing. Now all of a sudden, do you remember what he said about Richarlison? And now all of a sudden, he'll say that Jesus is better. Like, Robbie is not a good. if Robbie's your go-to source for football clarity, then boy,
he's the biggest
Long day.
football
Long day.
YouTuber in the world.
Yeah,
mate.
he is, because he loves his
Number
club
one.
and he's matched work and he's brought up AFTV from the ground up and he's fantastic at that. But when it comes to analyzing players,
But I'm not.
Yeah,
I need to defend Souček a little bit here, right?
Oh, do you
Because-
now? Why do you need to do
What
that?
do you need to defend?
Do you
He's
want to
rubbish.
be better?
Alright.
Because as much as I agree with you on the Moyes situation in terms of can you get the best out of the new West Ham, there are plenty of players in your team that prevent you from playing in the new West Ham way. And Souček is one of them because he can't
Yes.
pass a football. So
No,
why are you going to now
defensively,
defend the likes
he
of
is-
Craig Dawson and Souček, but yet you want to play good football? That doesn't make any sense. That's literally they don't make that doesn't go together. That's like me defending Marcus
Defensively,
Alonso.
Souček's better than Ben.
That's like me defending Marcus Alonso
No,
and
he
expecting
isn't.
us to open
Based
up
off
and play
what?
good transitional football. It
Based
doesn't make
off
any
what?
sense.
What?
That
What do
doesn't
you
make
mean?
any sense.
You just said let's look on FB ref and let's see.
Listen, he's in bad form now. When I showed you the stats last
It's
season,
over the last 12 months. It's over
and
the
we
last
looked
12 months.
at tackles, interceptions, blocks.
Yeah, he can tackle and
Souček
intercept and
had
block.
more.
Yeah, he can.
Yeah.
He can. That's
Rodrigo
not. That's
Bentancur
never
can
been
do
the
all these
conversation, though. The
I'm
conversation is
saying,
about
I
him.
just said like he's better at Bentancur than defending. So let's give him that, right? The problem is, like you just
but
said, Matisse.
Again, this is another defensive attribute.
No,
Same with
but that's
Dawson.
what I'm
You
saying,
want to
but
play
I'm-
football.
I'm backing you. I'm backing
Yeah.
you up, right? He, like you said, that is he's utilizing. He's basically played as like another centre back. It was like having a third centre back who was just a little bit further forward. That's preventing us from progressing the ball massively. And he finally brings on Flynn Downs too little, too late. So look, he has his qualities, but it doesn't fit into the group, into this team right now. Moyes wants to play him as this Fellaini, can defend, can run late, head the ball, blah, blah, blah. But you see, yes, all right, yeah. Sit down, Tobs, sit down.
Sit down.
Sit
What?
down. Yeah? You just seen the numbers, innit? You just seen it.
No, I'm looking at the numbers now. So tackles. Rodrigo Bentancur is in the 80th percentile for tackles. Thomas Souček is in the 60th percentile.
Yeah, but let's
Interceptions. Thomas Souček is in the 90th percentile. Rodrigo Bentancur is in the 70th percentile. Blocks. Thomas Souček is in the 40th percentile. Rodrigo Bentancur is in the 70th percentile. Clearances. Thomas Souček is in the 90th percentile. Rodrigo Bentancur is in the 80th percentile. And most obviously, Ariel's one because he's a flipping meathead shithouse. He's going to be in the 90th percentile, and Bentancur is in the 70th percentile.
So Souček wins on defensive slightly, but the gap was a lot bigger last season, right? Souček's confidence is shot massively. And I think, look, he has something to offer again. If we want to have the option, and you should have the option to play defensive in certain games, again, depending on your opposition, away from home, maybe against a Man City or something, spells in the game. Maybe you bring him on when you're protecting a lead or something. That should be an option. But if you want to progress, we want to play good football. We want to feed Scamacca. Scamacca was feeding off scraps. What do we expect? It's Sebastian Haller all over again. What is the point of signing strikers under David Moyes? We sign these strikers and we say the same thing. Oh, like, it's shit. He's not scoring goals. Well, wonder why. I wonder why. Moyes just wants to do the same bullshit. Ball over the top, run onto it, goal. We got no pace. This is what I don't get, what he's trying to do. If we want to be a counter-attacking team, where's the pace in the side where we can break quickly? Where's the players that can split out a pass? If we want to be a possession-based team, why are we playing players that can't either carry the ball or pass the ball? Again, what does Moyes want to do? I'm tired of him now. I don't want to see him at the club anymore. People was onto me because they saw a DR Sports interview that was titled "I'm almost Moyes out," which I didn't say. But all these clowns on Twitter decided to screenshot and go, "Oh, look at this prick. He don't speak for us. He's this, he's that," wanting to slate me on Twitter. Yeah, I bet these same mugs are there, the ones saying Moyes out, because most fans are saying Moyes out now. I've seen it. It's massively the numbers that say Moyes out. And these same little shits was the one that was getting onto me. And now, you know what I mean? The tides have turned like the space of weeks. So Yeah, I'm kind of over it, and I think that 6-week break is a good time now
to sack him and get someone else in.
Yeah, but look, we got Leicester next. And I'm not even counting Blackburn because we'll beat Blackburn and we'll paper over the cracks like Europe has. We've won look at this. Look at this form. Look at this form. I've got the numbers here. 32 games this year since the 1st of January, 16 losses, 10 wins and 6 draws in the league. That's relegation form.
It is.
And yet you talk yourself up to be on Spurs' level.
Anyway.
Why?
Because of the manager. Because of the manager. We've got the players.
Oh, sorry. But when the manager was performing, you still only managed to finish above Spurs once in like how many years?
Yeah, but what have you achieved in all them times you finished
Well,
above?
I didn't talk about
West Ham this year.
Didn't talk about achievements. We know that Spurs are bottle jobs. We know that Spurs don't win trophies. We're trophyless. But my point to you is, why do you say all this about West Ham relegation form? So why do you constantly feel the need to put West Ham on the table that they're not at?
It's not about
why is that? It's not why about is that? It's like me putting myself on a table with Man City and Liverpool. Why would I do that?
Oh, shut up, man!
Why
would
Speaking of Tottenham, do you want to do any? Do you want to stick on your game?
The difference between Spurs and West Ham is not the same as you and Liverpool. Yeah.
Well, where are you in the table?
Oh, right. We're looking at the table now. You are dropping down that table. I'm telling you.
Even if you're dropping down that table, where did you finish last season?
You are so lucky.
Where did you finish that last season?
I guess not.
7th. How many points did you finish behind Spurs? How many points did you finish behind Spurs?
I don't look at points. I'm not.
Oh, you don't look at points. You don't look at points. Why? Why do you not look at points?
I'm not able because I don't sit there and go count points. Like we finished this many points here. Or this
then look at it. Look at it because you're talking about. You're talking about. Let me even show you the gap. Let me even show you.
Oh, look at him! Typical mind.
You had the opportunity to bring Tottenham Liverpool into this, but you didn't. You didn't take it, Lawless.
I'm saying it now because look at it. He lost.
No, we'll talk about Tottenham Liverpool next. So
we don't have any time.
Man City finished 20. Man City finished 20. 22 points. 22 points ahead of Spurs last season. Guess how many points Spurs finished ahead of West Ham?
How many?
Come on, tell us then. Yes. Tell us.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
I don't know.
15 points.
Oh wow! Good for you. Put that in your trophy cabinet.
It's not about a trophy cabinet. You've just asked, oh, the gap is not as big. That's a sizable gap, bro. What are you talking about? That's a sizable gap.
Where were you in Europe? You didn't have Europe.
A sizable gap, mate.
You had no Europe.
That's a sizable
gap. You had no Europe. You played one game a week.
So what?
So welcome to a factor. Same as a factor.
Matisse, what did you just say? You played one game a week. Welcome to being a club that actually plays in Europe consistently. Welcome to having to deal with the rigors of playing European football. Welcome, because the previous seasons where you would shit on Spurs that had the same level of commitment that you had, plus their league campaign, you didn't care about any of those nuances, and now you want to cry to me about, oh, you played one game a week. Why do I care about that?
But you're supposed to be this infinitely.
That was your first European season.
That's your first European. That's your first European campaign, and you're bitching and moaning about the schedule as if we've not had to be dealing with that for years.
It's a factor.
Yet again, I hate comparing myself to West Ham
with a small squad.
I hate comparing myself to West Ham because I don't want to do it. Spurs are on a different level to West Ham. We're not this amazing club, but we are quite clearly on a different level to West Ham.
It's true. I mean, there's only one team in the knockouts of the Champions League. I don't know why.
Comparing us like we're peers. We're not peers.
A few steps up above us.
We're not peers. It's not a few steps up. We're not peers.
You're not a level above us. You're like a few.
Yes, we are a level above you. Yes, we are a level above you. What are you talking about? Yes, we are level above you. We're literally playing 2 tiers. Two tiers above you in European competitions.
How are we knocked out in the next round, mate?
It doesn't matter. We're in the knockout stages. What are you? Where are you?
We're in the knockout stages.
We're further than third tier European competition, and you're saying this.
Where did you?
And by the way, this is a third tier that I don't know. I don't really think you're going to make this year. I don't think you're going to make third tier European.
Listen, we don't play until March. We don't play till March in this competition, right? If we get Moyes out now and get a new match, plenty of time for a new manager to come in and turn things around. Right. So I'm not even looking at that to say.
Toby, quick final thoughts. Literally, there's only a couple minutes left. Quick final thoughts on, your game.
You lost to a team.
You've missed your opportunity to pam him. I'm sorry. You've missed your
but come on,
opportunity.
Matisse,
I've got to go
let's
in
just
3
do this.
minutes. You've
Liverpool-
rambled on about Moyes for 10. That's your prerogative.
He didn't let me. He didn't listen. Let me just say this.
You've
Liverpool
allowed him.
Palace,
Listen,
same
he's played
point.
the game very well because we ain't even got time for Tottenham versus Liverpool. To be honest, he's played the game well. They lost at home to Liverpool, a team that he expected them to do much better against to win.
Yeah,
They're on the same points as Palace. So we've lost to teams that are on the same points. That's all I can say. So he can't look at me in no type of way.
This guy's a disgrace.
You're
At
shameless.
home.
I'm wrapping up. You're shameless.
Wait,
No, I'm shameless.
you
I'm
can't wait.
wrapping up.
Matisse, you see what we're dealing with? This guy's a disgrace.
No. You did not just compare.
Absolute
You did not just
disgrace.
compare Crystal Palace to Liverpool. No. I'm
Matisse,
done.
He's
No,
an
I am
absolute
done.
disgrace.
I am done.
He's a
I am
disgrace.
done.
I'm
If you
telling
want
you.
Toby's
He's a
reaction,
shambles.
if you want Toby's reaction to Liverpool, you can watch the Big Six. I'm done. I am that last comment there. You are so shameless.
He counts points from the
Matisse,
table.
he's a disgrace. I'm telling you. He's a
I thought
disgrace.
points mattered.
He's an
So
absolute
points
disgrace.
mattered.
No, I'm
The
done.
point-
No, we're done.
Do points matter?
We're done.
Do points
We're done.
matter?
We're
You
done.
was counting. You was
Good luck.
telling me how many
I hope you
points.
fix. I hope you fix your
as
other
an
camera, your
indicator.
main camera, and yeah, we're done.
No, listen. I won
No.
that. I won that because
Yeah.
he said that Spurs are so far above us because of the difference in points.
I didn't say
Well,
so
there's
far
no
above you.
difference
I
in
said
Palace.
we're
Big up in
clear
the
level above
comments.
you.
In
I hope you.
Matisse, did I say so far above you? I said we are a clear level above you. Stop equating West Ham and Spurs to be the same thing. I would not do the same for teams that
Liverpool
are
on
quite
19
clearly above
points.
Spurs.
Palace on 19 points.
Okay. Smash up the
You're a
points.
disgrace.
Subscribe
matter,
to the
folks.
channels as
You're a
always.
disgrace, man.
People.
You're actually a disgrace. Like you genuinely.
Oh,
Like,
shame.
you know, there are certain people that genuinely have no honor. Like you actually have no honor. You're a disgrace. You're actually a disgrace.
Using your words
The stuff-
against you.
the stuff- I actually can't believe what you just said. You're an absolute disgrace. It's mental what you just
Can't
said.
have it all your
The
own
fact that
way.
you've actually equated playing Liverpool at home to playing Crystal Palace at home. It just shows you the level of shamelessness that
Liverpool
you
that
have.
lost to Forest and Leeds.
Your shamelessness knows
Same
no
as saying
bounds. It knows no bounds, bro.
Same
Mental.
points though. But you just said points on the table matter. We look at
Absolutely
points,
mental.
same
I said
points.
at the end of the season, points to the table matter. At the end of the
But right
fucking
now,
season.
Let's look at this. Ain't the Liverpool of old, yeah, that you lost to. This
And
is
where are you
currently
in comparison to them?
turmoil.
Where are you in comparison to them?
But yeah, we've gone through a rough patch, yeah.
Oh, you're going for a rough patch. But you want me to take Liverpool going through
So
a rough
Liverpool
patch
going
as
for a
standard?
rough patch.
What are you
They're
talking
going for a
about?
rough patch.
So Liverpool aren't going for a rough patch. This is
Yeah,
their
they
standard.
are. That's the type of team that you just lost to. A team going for a rough patch.
A rubber patch.
And a rough patch. And being soft touch Spurs, yeah, soft touch Tottenham, you lost.
Yeah, we did lose.
Deservedly.
We lost because of stupidity and a slow start, but we didn't deserve to lose that game.
You did.
We didn't deserve to do that game. At least I can say that confidently. For all the criticism that is levied at Spurs, yeah, granted, we started slow, we gave them a goal, etc., etc. They played well in the first half, yeah. But if I'm looking at that performance over 90 minutes, I think we did enough to get at least a point out of the game.
But you
and
didn't.
the only reason, yeah, exactly. And I'm going to explain to you the only reason why we didn't get it is because yet again we started slow and we gave the team the momentum. You, on the other hand, for 90 minutes, all you can talk to me about is David Moyes out, etc., 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 etc. Not one positive performance about your.
Owen
Not
Banger.
one positive
Benrahma.
about your performance apart from Benrahma scoring a screamer.
Yeah. it was a
And not to
banger.
mention,
And
you
when
lost-
you-
when you
you
dig
actually
into
lost-
his- when
you
you
actually
dig-
lost the game in stoppage time. You couldn't even hold on for a point.
When
You
you
had
dig
a point
into
in your
when you
hand
dig
and you
into his
conceded in the
metrics,
fourth minute.
zero key passes from Benrahma and 0 dribbles completed. So how
Bro.
good this performance was, I don't know. But anyway, I've already wrapped up in my head and on
mental.
camera. So good luck, everybody. I hope you guys continue this argument in the group chat.
Tomorrow on Potter's channel.